Hello, and welcome back to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. I am Jami Lynn, and we're going to be talking about what Relational Life Therapy calls second consciousness. So first, let me just tell you what Relational Life Therapy is. It's one of my favorite therapy models for couples. This was created by a guy named Terry Real, who is an amazing therapist, also a feminist, so I love his work because it's grounded in feminist systemic work. And if you're looking for a couples therapist, I'm going to link Relational Life Therapy's directory below because it is a search engine where you can see therapists in your area who are trained in this model. So check that out below. It is there for you to use if you were looking for a good couples therapist. Okay, let's get started. Second consciousness. So before we even talk about second consciousness, we got to talk about first consciousness. First consciousness is what Relational Life Therapy is referring to whenever we have that automatic response. The thing that we immediately want to do in a situation, or like knee-jerk reaction. So if my partner does something in my direction, let me try and think of an example. My partner's kind of a stoic person, whereas I'm way more emotive and kind of outgoing. So there are times whenever my partner will give me like a sort of blank look, and I take that in to mean he's angry. That's like my automatic first reaction is he's angry at me. I've done something wrong. Whereas in reality, most of the time what's going on is that my partner is just a stoic person who's kind of introverted, and it takes a lot of energy to be like, oh, hey, how's your day going? What's going on with you? Tell me about your life. Whereas for me, that's super easy and that's what I expect from everyone. But it's not a reality that everyone is like me. So learning that my partner is different has been the second consciousness work. First consciousness, though, I see my partner's stoic face and my immediate reaction, the like whoosh, the first thing that happens inside me after he's angry with me, something's wrong, is to move toward my partner in a way that tries to draw him out. Hey, is something wrong? Are you okay? Are you upset about something? Or sometimes my immediate whoosh, first consciousness response might be, what's wrong with you? Why are you in such a bad mood? Why are you such a downer right now? Right? So that's the knee-jerk reaction. That's the very first response that runs through me. One of those two, it kind of depends on my mood and how I'm doing, whether I'm in a shame space of like, oh God, he's mad at me, I need to find out why. Are you okay? Versus in a blame space of, ugh, there's something wrong with you because you're being stoic right now, and moving into putting that out there, being judgmental, being aggressive towards him. Those are my first responses. That's the immediate thing that happens inside of me. Second consciousness creates a pause. It's the very first thing that happens with second consciousness, where I'm able to pause for a moment and inwardly reflect on everything that I talked about in the beginning of this video. Oh, right. There's a part of you that feels insecure and self-conscious as though you messed up in some way and your partner's mad at you. Hi there. And also, you know that your partner is a more stoic person and a little bit introverted, and usually this face, this blank face, has nothing to do with you because your partner has told you that a million times. And so after this long pause, or short pause as you get better at catching your reactiveness, the second consciousness move is going to be really different. It's going to be a response that I choose rather than the knee-jerk reaction. And so it might look like saying nothing, giving my partner space to do whatever they are doing until the time comes whenever they're starting to feel more extroverted and interested in connection. And then they'll come to me and do the moves that I'm looking for. Hey, how are you? What's going on in your life? Tell me about your day. That might be one thing. Or it is possible that I might respond in an entirely different way. I could smile at my partner and remind myself, oh, they're so different from me. Isn't that cool? And so I would just give them like a loving smile and maybe kiss my partner on the head and then go about my day and do my thing. Or I could do a vulnerable share. Ooh, I just had one of those moments where I told myself that you were angry with me. And I freaked myself out a little bit, but now I'm calming down again. Hey, how's it going? And then just see what happens. My partner might respond, they might not, who knows? We might laugh together because we've talked about this part before. Or maybe if I'm really wanting connection in that moment, I feel like it's a good time to move in without an agenda or any kind of shame towards myself or blame towards them. Then it might just look like, hey, are you available for some connection right now? I would love to snuggle with you, or I would love to have a little conversation about this thing that's been on my mind. Is now a good time for that? And then just see where they're at and whether or not that would be good for them. So how do you actually get from a first consciousness state of being to this second consciousness state of being? And there's so many answers to this, but the one that I find the most useful would be working on watching your mind, knowing what's happening inside of you, and being able to pause and give yourself a moment of compassion and love towards the parts of you that are activated, help them calm down, and then move into attempting to connect with your partner or yourself in whatever way feels right in that moment. But before you can do any of that, you have to take the pause. You have to take a breath. If it helps you to count to 10 in that breath before you make the move to do whatever you would normally do, try that. And I realize that what I'm suggesting, this taking a pause, lending yourself compassion before doing whatever you do next, that also requires a lot of work. That's something to be practiced. It takes 2 steps. The first is observing yourself, so mindfulness, watching yourself as things are happening inside. And then the other one is interacting with that internal world from a place of non-judgment. And ideally, if you can, compassion, acknowledging that what's happening inside, there's a reason for it, and it has attempted to help you throughout your life. And when you do those 2 moves, the witnessing, the compassion move, or even just a non-judgment move, it doesn't have to be loving and kind immediately, but moving towards non-judgment, understanding, and then eventually love and kindness. That helps soothe your nervous system. That which then creates the capacity for your system to do something differently. First consciousness reactions, that automatic response that we have, that comes out of a space of danger, threat, insecurity. Whereas the second consciousness comes out of a space of safety. And we cannot get to safety until we start building safety into our nervous system. It's really just spaciousness, the space to watch the world from a place of non-attachment and more calm, because I trust that I can take care of myself in each one of these moments that come up. And for those of you who have watched a lot of my videos, you know in the end what we're really talking about is mindfulness again. Always coming back to that. The practice of mindfulness is one of the most important things you can do to become a more relationally healthy person and to come into a space where you actually can respond differently to your partner rather than the automatic responses that you've always had. The automatic pilot way of living that doesn't feel good and often sends us into conflict and disconnection. I hope you found this video helpful. If you know anyone who might like this, please forward it to them. I love the support. Thank you. And remember to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in future videos. Bye for now.